What's up, y'all? I hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you have a good year. The entire 2019. We'll get it. I'm gonna wait about a minute or 2 minutes for everyone to get in the live stream, and then we're gonna talk about Fox News. It's getting real dicey over there at Fox News, which is not good for multiple reasons. First reason being, it's the only semi-conservative leaning news station on the news network, and that would be fine if we had a lot of diversity and discussion and a middle ground. But right now on television, we have 100% liberal narrative, establishment liberal narrative, celebrities, SNL, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, CNN. They all say the same thing, and it's not helpful. We'll get into that later. It's very, very naive and foolish and hateful and false compassion, where it's like a lot of hate and anger and narratives that don't make sense. They just repeat, repeat, repeat. It's literally the definition of propaganda is repeating the lie until people believe it. And Fox, albeit I've never been a fan, I've been semi-critical here. I'm not really a critic, but you get what I'm saying. I've always expressed the importance of Fox News, albeit there's a lot of whack people on there. It's the only place where you could talk about anti-war narratives like Tucker Carlson. It's the only place that even semi-supports Trump, and they're coming for Fox News. I've been saying this for a year, and it's becoming more and more apparent. Once they knock down Fox News, once the sons of this guy, get in and liberalify it, we now have an 100% controlled television, which is very, very dangerous. And the internet is the place where people get other opinions. And that's why they're trying to swallow up the internet. And on the second note, we're going to talk about Owen Benjamin, who's demonetized on YouTube. He was making a lot of money. And just want to talk about that. Tim Truth said, have a good year, everyone. Thank you, guys. I'll read some comments and I'll start. Let's see what you guys are saying. East Tennessee, God bless you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Big Wen. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you guys. All right, I'm going to just start it up. I don't want to wait too long. So let's start with the Fox News liberal takeover of the television, because recently, I guess the story is Judge Jeanine it had her show semi-suspended, or they just didn't let her air her segment today or yesterday on Fox News. And it's also in the same week that they came for Tucker Carlson. They brought up a bunch of old audio clips trying to get Tucker off the television. And also, I guess, activists dressed up as bananas or something and harassed him at his house. I don't know what's going on. It's all very authoritarian. It's all very creepy, because regardless, and this is my pitch to left-leaning people, and in general, I'm going to continue to try to lead by example in the way, because I want to be solution-based. I don't want to just freak people out. The solution is to be strong. I'm going to get into that before I talk about the problem. Solution is to be strong, but strength doesn't mean you don't have to scream and screech and be annoying and be like off-putting. A lot of top conservatives are that. So liberals look at them and they're like, yeah, I don't want to be like that, because they're always screaming, build a wall, build a wall. It's like, it's not appealing. But if you actually are semi-likable and you know how to actually have a conversation with a liberal or a progressive or somebody in the film industry like I do, they'll listen a little bit. They're just so off course and they're in such an echo chamber. You have to understand, a lot of these people, of course, there's some nefarious people, I believe, but a lot of these people at the lower levels and even the upper levels, they're just useful idiots, guys, in the sense of they don't even know what they're doing. They're around thousands of people who say, diversity is our strength and we're the best and liberals the way to go and there's nothing wrong with it. They think they're doing good. They don't realize that they're ushering in like a socialist, communist, 100% authoritarian media control, like tax control. They have no idea what they're doing. So the way to really get through to them that I'm learning is to be strong. Don't be a pussy, for lack of a better term, but you don't strength doesn't mean anger. Strength doesn't mean fear or strength can be like, I'm not moving and I'm going to tell you what it is. And I'm going to be kind to you too. I'm going to hear out your side, but you got to hear this. A lot of times people will listen. They'll be like, whoa, I've never heard that before, because it's not coming on Fox either. That's my point. That's the solution, I really believe. So in the problem, Fox is the only place where you can do anti-war stuff. Tucker does anti-serious stuff. I already mentioned he does even like socialist leaning stuff sometimes. Tucker goes out on a limb and talks about AI, and Tucker's a matrix breaker. He definitely does some interesting stuff. I don't always agree with him. They're going for him and Judge Jeanine and everyone else very soon Because if they control Fox News, and you have to understand this, if you're a liberal or a progressive and you think like you're going to get universal health care soon and like that's the big scoop, you have to really understand where we're at, or else you're going to throw out the baby with the bathwater and you're going to be the first one with a boot on your throat and be like, oh, I thought we were getting free health. Yeah, well, that's what they told you to establish entire control. It's what authoritarian regimes have done in the past 100 years. Like every time they're following the same playbooks, guys. One of the most important things is media control. If you control the media, Malcolm X knew this. I believe Jim Morrison knew this. Trump knows this. A lot of conservatives and progressives know this. If you control the media, you control the minds of the masses. So if you control the textbooks, I had a great conversation this week with someone who was saying the textbooks used to be faith-based and more religious-based, but the thing was they used to have critical thinking a little bit more in school. Like we've gotten dumber, guys. It's a tough reality to deal with. We've dumbed ourselves down because we traded in critical thinking for government installed education, which is taken out the critical thinking skill, and it's just telling you opinions of what to believe about that situation. Instead of saying it's nuanced, it's complex, this is what happened, they say this guy good, this guy bad, this happened, this you bad man, and they don't explain anything. And it's really dumbed us down. And they know this stuff. If you control history, if you control the education system, if you control mass media, the television, the celebrities, the movies being made, you control society. And I was talking to some people this weekend. I talk about sometimes, not very often, but how China is buying up a lot of the film industry. And I've heard even that the government's trying to block them. But what they do in certain aspects are, I've heard instances, and you could probably find it if you search, but the villain in the movie was supposed to be China, but China owns the movie studio, so they go and they reshoot the whole thing and make the villain North Korea. Why do they do stuff like that? Because they understand how powerful even fictional movies are. If China's the villain in a movie, most people are not very bright. They watch the movie, ooh, China man bad, America man good. That's why they tell real stories via movies based on a true story. Tom Cruise flying in drugs. It's all real stories that they're trying to cover up or change a narrative on to be like, look, crazy guy, instead of like they were doing it. It's like, whoa, Tom Cruise flew drug. Imagine if the government did that. It's like they did do that. Why do you think they're in Afghanistan? What happened in the 90s? Like the whole crack epidemic. It's all out there. It's just people are so brainwashed by TV and film that they think it's just a story. They're just like, oh, I wonder if that could happen. It's like it happened. That's why they control the movie industry. And when it comes to television, although the internet, we'll talk about that in a second with the Owen segment, television is still a very big business. It controls a lot of people's perception of everything. I mean, between CNN, ABC, NBC, Fox News, SNL, all of these shows as well, it socially engineers our society. That's how we learn everything. Like they teach us who we are, our culture, what we laugh at, what we don't laugh at, what's right, what's wrong, what's the news, what's not. And the whole television, and I don't understand. I'm going to be calm because I have to be calm this year. Thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it. I don't understand how left-leaning people don't understand that. I'm starting to think they don't care. Maybe they're in such an echo chamber. I wouldn't want the television station to be 100% conservative right-wing Republican. That would be awful. They would start calling for speech laws, anti-Semitism. Oh my God, Ilhan Omar can't say, I don't want the whole television to be all conservatives. To be quite honest, conservatives are really annoying me as of recent. They're becoming a little bit too NPC, and they're taking the term free thinker, but they're not really free thinker. Free thinker was a term for decades that belongs to people who think outside the box. It's not like I'm conservative, I'm woke, free thinker. It's like not really, unless you can really play both sides and figure out what's going on. But the point I'm saying is I wouldn't want the television to be 100% right wing. And if it was, I would stand up. And if there was all right wing and there was one like MSNBC that was more like Tucker Carlson style where they actually told some truth, I'd be like, hey guys, I understand like we're liberal, we're progressive, but we don't want 100% control of the television. That's not a good idea. And that's what they're doing. So if you're left-leaning, progressive, and liberal, and you don't understand this stuff, or you ignore this stuff, or you sweep it under the rug and you say Orange man bad, Fox News man bad, you're lying to yourself, and you're also going to usher in a big government regime that does gun control and 100% control of media, high taxes, mass regulations. Like they already have our government subverted in so many ways. It's not even funny. We don't want everything to be owned by a few people. That's like that's the whole thing about the government. Corporations bad, government bad. But if you compare corporations like Amazon to government, it's like, yes, there's bad elements to it, but the government mishandles everything and they have ridiculous bloated budgets and they do subpar work. When it comes to healthcare, VA, it's off. They don't do good work. We're not trying to blow big government, but I don't even want to get into that. The entire television besides Fox News is a singular narrative. It's not liberal. It's not progressive. It's not woke. It's not thought provoking. It's not critical thinking. It's not compassionate. It's not kind. It's not cool. It's not trendy. It's all mind control. And I could say that safely. I'll listen to some liberals and progressives on YouTube. They're better there. I mean, on the television, it's all mind control. And it's not like, it's funny because I know people, like I know a lot of people, but people who work in different industries, whether it's business or finance or this or that, a lot of them have no idea. They're so disillusioned with the fact of like what they hear all the time and they never get questioned or challenged that they just go along with it and think it's cool. But like when you put up the stop sign and be like, guys, have you really thought about what you're doing? Like there's no discussion at all. Every show is like Russia, Russia. But the funny part is at the high levels of this stuff, people know exactly what they're doing. Like it's a lot of useful idiots on the lower levels and the mid-high levels, but at the top of it, China knows that the media controls the mind. That's why they're purposely influencing with their agenda. I'm sure our intelligence agencies, they know that they've been infiltrating mass media forever. They know exactly how powerful it is. So it's like only on this level are we so dumbed down and so lacking of critical thinking that we think it's like a conspiracy theory. When I say this stuff, people are like, dude, that's crazy. Like, it's just Wheel of Fortune. Like, no, you think people don't know? Like, have you read a history book? Have you read any psychology from like, I mean, Germany, World War II, ever? Russia, China, Germany? Like, you'd never heard of like, they know that they control the media, then they control the minds of the masses. They tell you what to think. They tell you what to buy. They tell you what's cool. They show you a movie. They give you the plot. Like they know that it's not like only us on our ground level. We're so dumbed down that we don't even understand that that's a possibility. It's so ridiculously obvious that it's a little bit annoying, but I'm going to try to not get annoyed or else I'll be annoyed every day in my life. So it's like, it's happening for sure. And with the television, as awful as Fox News has become in many ways, I don't like a lot of people on there. But if they get rid of Tucker Carlson, they get rid of Judge Jeanine, you'll have liberals and progressives foaming at the mouth saying, we did it. We got Fox News, their government. Oh, we knocked the government down. Trump lackeys, all Trump lackeys. And then it's like, guys, you just subverted the entire television into the hands of, which is, I mean, probably the intelligence communities, the deep state, the globalists, the elites, like whatever you want to call them, they're all playing on a one world communist style agenda of total control. And it's not like they know this stuff. They've read books on how to gain power and control. It's only the naivety of our society. Like they would never do. No, of course they've done it. Like, let's talk about it. I had a gun control debate this weekend with this guy on a hike. And he just stared at me because I put 7 points out and I think he was like liberal. I don't think he's ever heard somebody say it. It's like his echo chamber got shattered because I'm like, bro, Hitler, Stalin, these were not like thousands of years ago. This was like within the last 100 years. And they always operate off the same agenda. So if you subvert entire mass media, if you do gun control, if you say, I'm the guy for the people, give you this, that, get everybody dependent on the state, and then you own it all, and then you go crazy and mix in a little bit of racism, it's really bad. And it's like the same thing that they're doing. They just, even Hitler, if you research into Hitler, he was like pro-environment. There's reports that he was vegan. He wasn't like, he was very enthusiastic. If you watch his speeches, he's way more enthusiastic than any speaker of nowadays. Like there's nuance to that where people would be like, no, you can't. No, like look at him speak and then look at Mitch McConnell and Hillary Clinton speak. It's like a drone zombie versus like somebody who actually has passion. But the point I'm trying to make with this is he wasn't just like, I'm bad, I'm going to kill it. He made a pitch to the people. He said a lot of very vague things. It was a lot of, honestly, socialist, like empty phrases like Bernie Sanders does, like, we're the people, we're going to rise up, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Next thing you know, they own the mass media, they did gun control, that you don't have anything because they gave you certain things. And like anytime there's a big welfare state, it crushes people into poverty. I always reference California, and I'm going to keep doing so. We have the highest taxes. We have the most poverty. We have the most homeless. And it's not it's obvious. I talk to my liberal friends all the time and they don't get it. It's like homelessness is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse because we're incentivizing it. A liberal and a progressive, and I'm saying this in all kindness, are doormats. They're the easiest people to take advantage of. If you're a criminal, if you're a terrorist, if you're a horrible person and you just want to leech off of a liberal, it's easy. It doesn't matter if you're from Mexico, Middle East, Nebraska, California, Saudi Arabia. It doesn't matter. Like, liberals are doormats. They're just like, we need to give free things to the people who need the help. And it's like, some of them need help. A lot of them don't. Like, in California, if you live in San Francisco or Los Angeles, you'll start to realize these people who are homeless, they're not looking for a home. And no one wants to say it. I'll say it. I don't care. They're not looking for a home. They're not looking for food. A lot of them are not nice people. They're looking to stab you. They're looking to rob you. They're looking to chase you. Like, they don't want you to take pictures. They don't want you to walk by. They don't want you to look at them. They're not like, I know what a homeless person is. It's like, hey, can I have some money or some food? And I'm like, I don't have some, brother. God bless. And they're like, God bless. Thank you, brother. Or I'm like, man, I got you. And it's God bless. That's what someone who's home. It's not like building tent communities. You think it's just like we're building a whole subculture of zombies where, like, some of them need mental health. Some of them are veterans. Some of them are poor, for sure. But honestly, most of them are bad people. And if you facilitate a society, it's now in Los Angeles, it's like a dark underworld of a tent community where you have hundreds of thousands of tents and people just running around trashing the streets, and it's growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And liberals keep throwing money and money because the whole ideology is a fail. And I'm the only one saying that, and it's true. But it's like liberal and progressive incentivize poverty. It expands the state. And when it comes to mass media, regardless of what you think of Tucker Carlson, honestly, I agree with Tucker on a lot. I disagree with him on quite a few things. Judge Janine, she can be a little bit annoying, but she can also be strong and cool. Laura Ingraham, hit or miss for me. Sean Hannity, hit or miss. I think he's done some awful work in the past. I think he's done some really great work over the last few years. I'm nuanced enough to be like good, bad, good. But if you take them off, it's not like a win. It's like 100% liberal domination of the television to control everything. It's awful. And they're controlling Facebook and Twitter and Google, and they want to control everything. They'll protest, they'll march, they'll invert history to the point where, just to be honest, I don't like to get into this stuff because it's not my thing. But when it comes to religion, if you look at like stats, Christians in America, I'm not saying recently, but recently too, Christians are the most persecuted group. Christians are being slaughtered in Nigeria. Christians and secular people were slaughtered in Libya, in Muslim areas. Christians don't get treated well. Gays don't get treated well. I'm not saying it's like awful. I'm sure there's fine places, but it's just not compatible with Western civilization. And I'm not even wrong. That's fine. You can live how you want. God bless. Allah, praise the Most High. It's all love from me. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the world. But liberals don't understand. They actually play along with that agenda where they persecute Christians. Christians are persecuted all over the world. The birth rates are going down. I know that psycho guy wrote it in his manifesto, and he was like an eco-fascist, communist, horrible guy, a murderer, disgusting criminal. But now liberals will say everything right wing is bad and anything PewDiePie is bad, Candace bad. It's like, guys, let's stop playing identity politics. We need to have a real discussion. Just because if somebody shoots up a church, God forbid, and says like, hey, we need water in these regions of Africa, it doesn't mean, oh, everything he said's bad because he did a bad thing. Yeah, it's awful. He's going to hell. But it's the same with Trump. Like, orange man bad. No, some things he might say is good. We have to have real discussions, and they're not doing that. They're shutting down discussion, and they're always making the good look evil and the evil look good, in the sense of worldwide, Christians get murdered all the time, but they don't. There's a reason, and I'm trying to desperately explain this to my liberal and progressive friends in the kindest way possible. Because if you don't realize your life is going to significantly get worse until you're just squashed, because you're honestly, a lot of those people are pretty not very strong. But the media, the mass media, everything but Fox News and soon to be the entire television, almost all social media groups, all major liberal corporations, their agenda is not truly diverse. I'm all about diversity. I'm part Puerto Rican, Italian, Polish, Czech. You get it. I don't need to virtue signal to you guys, but I'm all about diversity. I stand up for other religions more than any right-wing people that are right-leaning. I stand up for Muslims all the time, and people don't like it. Too bad. I do it. But the point I'm saying is, the diversity thing in the left-wing media, if you really study and you want to be honest about it, no matter how you feel, they're anti-white, they're anti-conservative, obviously, but they're also anti-Christian. So all they do is they're a PR team for, well, both parties are PR teams for Judaism. You can't even question that. But the left wing is like a PR team for Islam, and very hateful towards Christians. The right wing tries to just like, I would say the right wing is too anti-Muslim in a ineffective way, because it's like you can stand up against the ideology in a smart, effective way, but it's like a circus. It's like conservatives are just ready to burn themselves because they're like, oh, Islam bad, and it's like no one listens to you, and you just sound stupid and ignorant, and you just repeat the cycle and keep losing. So it's like, you guys got to get a different approach to have these feel. Same with like when people criticize Judaism, most people just scream literally things that are anti and hateful against Judaism. You're not going to get anyone to listen because you're just grouping everyone in and hating a whole group. It's awful. It's like there's nobody that's nuanced enough to be like, guys, we can talk about these religions, but you don't have to hate everybody in the whole religion. It's like people for some reason can't get that concept. Very annoying. But the media by design, and I don't care who says it. I don't care if Trump says it, if Louis Farrakhan says it, if Tulsi Gabbard says it, if Hillary Clinton says it, if the leader of a mass mosque says it. Like, the truth is the truth, regardless of who says it. And the truth is, the mainstream media is anti-Christian, and Christians get slaughtered. They say nothing. They say nothing. They say nothing. This happens. It's great to cover it. That guy shot up a mosque. He's a scumbag. I don't even know that he was Christian. I think he was like an atheist, eco-fascist, but they'll cover this for 2 years. It's the same with Charlottesville. People have gotten their brains bashed in, attacked. People have been stabbed. Bernie Sanders, Jill Stein supporters stabbed people for no reason. There's a reason they only cover certain. It's not random. It's not just for clicks. There's a bigger agenda behind it. They are really subverting Christians and subverting conservatives. And it's not because a lot of people think, oh, it's because conservatives are really bad, Christians are really bad. No, the reason is because when it comes to America, you have to understand, we're not me and you talking, trying to help the world. There's some really bad people who really, their main agenda is control, money, power, and they don't care who they crush. They think you guys are such pawns and slaves that it's like, well, whatever, we'll just get them out of the way. Like, that's how they feel. And I'm sure some people just make mistakes too. Thank you, Basil. They look at America, and you have to understand, if you want to take control of America, Trump is in the way. Trump loves this country. He wants to build a wall. He's making the military bigger. He's giving more economic freedom to people. He's making it easier to start small businesses. He's cutting regulations, which make it easier for big and small corporations to do things, which is actually not really as bad as they'll say it is. Although I would say monopolies are bad, and like Bayer merging with Monsanto. I'm not about that life. We definitely have some capitalism problems, but overall, Trump is a huge fork in the road. So they'll play progressives and liberals to turn against Trump and to turn against Fox News and to turn against Christians and conservatives. It's not because they're ushering in this diversity era of like peace, love, and positivity. They just know that conservatives are in the way because they actually know that gun control is bad. They believe in free speech a little bit more than the left. The left will censor you and silence you in a second. That's why. And it's always happened. I mean, if you research into what happened in Russia and even, in Germany, but I would say more Russia because that was more like straight communist stuff. They do that. And even communist China. I had a great discussion with my friend. He runs the entire Epoch Times. If you guys have heard of Epoch Times, he runs like the whole Western or United States division. I don't know. He's crushing it. But also, he's a really brilliant guy. He explained to me, because Epoch Times was built out of rebelling against communist China. And he was explaining to me how communist China works. And it's exactly how the modern day left works. The communist tactics, they don't always just go kill you. Like, that happens later, or if you're doing way too much. But They slowly subvert you. They do these things where they attack you with all these speech organizations. They attack your sponsors. They pull the strings out from under you so you collapse. I'm going to talk about it later, like an Owen Benjamin, demonetized. Try to take all your money, try to take everything away from you, crush you. It's what the mass media does too. If they can't literally kill somebody, they try to kill them spiritually. Like, I don't want to get into names, but it's like they surround you with the media. We'll use Trump. He's an easy example, and they try to crush your soul and your character so much it's character assassination, and they hope that you get weak like a Kanye West, or even like a Michael Jackson when he was alive. It's just like crush your soul, crush your character, so you eventually just become so weak that you die, or everybody just throws you to the side. It's their whole strategy. It's a communist strategy. So progressives think Bernie Sanders is going to give me this health care, and he's going to rebel against the government, and he's going to be so woke and stop the wars. And liberals, God knows what they're thinking now. They're not thinking, which is a problem. They're thinking, oh, Trump's bad, diversity, it's all good. But then I talk to a lot of people too, and they're realizing that social Marxism's going against them. They're like, yeah, all these younger kids are turning, it's a self-eating. If you're top liberal, they're gonna ruin you. It's an ideology based off like spoiled younger people who hate men, who have no sense of self-accountability and want to destroy anybody who stands in their way. So you're welcome. I'm working by myself. I'm doing quite well independently, and I plan to stay that way. All these bigger corporations, you're going to get swallowed alive by diverse, 21-year-old women who are going to sue you, accuse you of rape, all this gross stuff that they're doing now. Good luck. You reap what you sow, and that's what the left is sowing. But they think they're stopping some sort of bigotry, but what they're really doing is ushering in a regime that has so much power and control that as soon as they gain power, they might give you universal health care because that's not a threat. It means government run healthcare. They cut out everything else and they control it. Every bad regime wants government run healthcare. You think they want private people giving good healthcare to people? No, they want it government centrally run. It's like central banks, central government. It's not a threat to the establishment. If you really want, and this is, I don't want to get on a tangent, but if any progressives watch me, they're so annoying. Sorry, guys. I love you, but you get it. There's new doctors coming out, new age doctors that are doing these practices that are outside the health industry that you just pay monthly to get better treatment. That's the way the free market beats the healthcare system. And honestly, all the people uninsured with no healthcare, it's not that bad. Like I don't want healthcare. Maybe there's millions of people like me who actually don't want healthcare. It's a hassle. It's a financial hassle. I don't trust the health industry at all. The more I take care of myself, I don't get sick anymore because I don't eat all the crappy products they sell. I don't take all the crappy pills they tell you to take. Our society makes us sick. There's a reason we're the most obese country. We have a pill problem. It's all by design. So I want to sidestep the industry, and progressives want to take that industry, give it to the government, and then say if you opt out, it's illegal. You have to pay a fine. It's so inherently evil, and they have no idea. But side note, yeah, it's awful. Universal healthcare is awful. And if you ignore government takeover of all of mass media, them owning everything, the entire celebrity elite class, the movie industry, while it's getting invaded by China slowly, they're just sucking up and changing narratives for the brainwashed, like diverse kids. They're doing a lot of the stuff. They're like, dude, these kids are such idiots. And like, we're going to fight the conservatives and Fox News. And like, then you're going to wake up and realize you're completely enslaved and subverted because you gave away your freedom of speech. You gave away your right to bear arms. And why a semi-automatic weapon? I don't know. Go to war and figure out why you might not just want a handgun. Like that, it's a huge deterrent to the United States. We are very heavily armed. There's a lot of militias. It's actually a good thing. It means we're not total pussies. Like, I'm not saying they're pussies, but like Libya and Syria, they got invaded and thrown to the side because they're small. They didn't have a big army, military, and their people weren't really armed. So it actually helps. But it's like you give all this stuff up. You get universal healthcare, all these grandiose progressive things. Guys, there's a reason Bernie Sanders says he's bad. George Bush was a better conservative. There's a reason that he cucks out to like everything. He says, "Oh no, it's okay, guys. The DNC has just made a mistake." Like, dude, he's such a snake. It's so ridiculously obvious. And now that they take out Fox News, they're gonna own the entire television. They're slowly weeding people out of social media and rigging their rules. And soon they're going to rig like they rig their algorithms, and Tim Pool, like the only honest progressive left who calls it out, like they rig all their algorithms and community guidelines on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube they're going to eventually pass laws into speech. And conservatives do this too. That's why conservatives are so annoying. They're so like, they're like, we're free thinkers, but they all like hive mind, just running at the anti-Semitic. Let's pass a speech law. It's like, guys, you're so dumb. Anyway, it's like such an obvious trap. So, regardless of what you think of Fox News, if you don't understand yet, this entire country is being subverted by people way smarter and way, honestly, I don't even blame them. Obviously, it's terrible, but like, dude, that's why when people are like, let's blame China, let's blame Jewish people, it's like, dude, Jewish people, I'm starting to learn from my friends. Honestly, Jewish people loved the Jewish debate. They thought it was great. Not everyone, but a lot of people. They said to me like their parents actually teach them business and stuff. And like a lot of the religion is based off of money and power. So it's like while everybody else is praying and trying to do the right thing or pray or like going to school and getting indoctrinated in government schools, Jewish people are teaching their kids like how to actually win in society, and they're doing so very well. China is very quiet, but they just win, and they're just like doing this stuff. It's only America. We're so dumbed down. I don't blame China, Jewish, Israel, this, that, liberals. It's not really anyone. Like, it's all on us, guys. Like, if you buy it, they're going to sell it. If you play this left right game where you just run in circles and you're like, I'm conservative, so I'm going to pass a speech law because I think it's bigoted that she said that. It's like, look, look into APAC, guys. That's what she was talking about. And I don't like Ilhan Omar. The leader, the two biggest leaders on the left and the right in House, they're speaking at APOC this year, and in Congress, in what is it, Senate and the House, dude, they all are like APAC chills. Just to be honest, it's like they have almost our whole Congress. They have the top two leaders, Democrat, Republican, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell. They're all speaking at APAC this year, guys. Ilhan Omar's not wrong. She's just annoying, and I don't trust her, and she does hate America, and she probably won't treat Jewish people well. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but there's a way to handle that without going full retard, for lack of a better term, and being like, guys, we need a speech law to stop her. Like, really? That's what you guys need? You don't have the ability to like critically debate anymore? It's so bad where it's like we're just sinking the ship in many ways. The good part is, the internet's picking up. The bad part is they're trying to subvert the internet because television is becoming irrelevant. But without Fox News, and I'm going to move on, 100% liberal establishment, fake conservative, Mitt Romney, George Bush type control of the television. This is awful, whichever way you spin it. And if you don't get that and you're left leaning, you're not very honest to yourself. Be more honest to yourself. And if you're a conservative and you're asking, Anomaly, this sounds bad, what can I do? We get what we buy. Stop blaming, stop hating, stop calling libtards and just being like, you're so dumb, you're so stupid, you're so awful, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, Islam. Like, it's such a circus that leads to your demise. It's not even funny. Tune out of these conservatives who just run you in circles. I'm calling them carousel conservatives or merry-go-round conservatives. You're just going in circles, guys. They're not doing anything. The way to do it is with conviction, with strength. But don't be so mean and annoying, because liberals will actually listen if you break it down like that. If you talk about gun control and you explain it like I do and you say, listen, the same people who are doing this are the same people who have the same agenda as bad people, like this, that, and I put out 5 reasons. It's hard to really argue. But if you're like, I'm an angry conservative and I want to just shoot them up, it's like, it's self-serving, and you'll get some people who agree with you. And that's fine. Honestly, I'm not knocking. I need some conservatives that go harder than me, because honestly, I know a lot of you guys are stacked and stocked, and it's like I'm all for militias. I'm all for the Second Amendment very strongly. So it's all love. Everyone can't. We all have to play our role. So I'm not knocking it. Like people who are just like, I just want to have my guns and F everyone else. That's fine. I'm more talking to conservative speakers. If you're just doing your thing, it's all love. But a lot of people, they're pursuing power and control and media presence, and I find it to be a little counterproductive in many ways. So that's what I'm saying. Don't hate on anybody. Don't judge. But like really try to have conversations with people, because once you see it, you can never really unsee it. And it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to me. As you get older, naturally, when you learn about taxes and healthcare, you naturally start to like go more center right and realize we're too far left. That's why I'm so confused when I have friends that are progressive in their like 50s and 60s. It's like, how in the world are you still that far left? Like, that's just honestly ridiculous to me. But to each their own. But having these conversations is really important in a way. And even like we all play a different part. That's fine. But if you really want to stay effective, Anomaly, how can we help? What can we do? One, we're already doing it. There's people who are stepping up. But in a way, I'm not saying they're perfect, but Jordan Peterson, I know a lot of people dislike him and like him and think he's a shill, and some people think he's great. I do want to say though, from an outside perspective, a lot of my liberal left leaning friends like Jordan Peterson. So even though he's not as aggressive and maybe as right wing as people want him to be, in a weird way, he actually is getting people to realize that leftist politics don't work that well. So it takes like innovation, and also like you got to give people a bone. You can't just scream at them. You got to be like, guys, I get where you're going. I understand that you want to save women and children at the border, but human trafficking exists. There is the highest murder rate ever in Mexico. And if you just give them free health care for coming over illegally, you're incentivizing that. You're incentivizing poverty. And when I say this stuff to liberal people, they they're like, "Oh, yeah, I've never thought of it that way." Because no one says it that way. And it's by design with Fox News. I'm going to read the super chat in a second. With Fox News, you're starting to learn now it's all by design. There's a reason they don't have me on. There's a reason that they say self-proclaimed hip-hop artist and news analyst. Like, I'm not a real one. There's a reason they talk down on Roseanne. There's a reason they're taking Judge Janine off. There's a reason they don't want Tucker Carlson to be there that long, because they're, like Owen called them in our stream. It's like the Washington Generals. They just show up to get beat bad and act like they're losing. Partially that, but also it's partially there are some good people, I do think, at Fox. And liberals are like a virus, to be quite frank. It's like they get there and then they slowly suck everything up, but they do it because they're smooth. And conservatives are, I don't want to use this word, but it is a dictionary word. I'm going to keep using it just to get the dictionary free speech. Retarded. It's like they always play into the left and lose all the time because they're not good at music. They're not good at really PR at all. They're not good at like entertainment. Like it seems like we're dropping the ball in everything. And then like, so it's like the way to counter that is just by being strong, but not being like annoying and mean. But conservatives can't figure that out. Not everyone, but some. It's like that's how you really get through to people. And Tucker's been very, very effective. Tucker's very popular on the progressive left, and that's why they want him gone, because Tucker's effective. He's anti-war, and he breaks the matrix and the narrative. They don't want that, and it might be because the sons of Fox News, they're now they're now taking over the company, and their liberalness is like a virus. They swallow, they swallow, they swallow, they swallow, they swallow, they swallow speech organizations. So the best way is like hold your ground, but also fight back through like, you know, convincing people. I feel like I've helped with that, and I'm going to continue to. And I'm going to read the super chat in inspiring others. Like people like Brandon from Walkaway. He told me like, anomaly, your videos is one of the ones that woke me up and inspired me. Then he created a movement, and other people as well, where it's like, and we all just got to plant seeds, and that's all we really can do. Miscommunication said, "What's something you'd like to accomplish?" What I'm talking about, there's a few things I want to accomplish. I want to do events. I want to do in-person events that are a little cooler and also more open to the left as well, and more debate-wise. Like I want to get people feeling better. So I'm going to do events. I want to do more speaking engagements and stuff. I want to do distribution and like sell you guys products, not like douchey products, but like things that I really believe in. Like I want to elevate. I'm very ambitious, and I'm working on all these things. So events, merchandising, other platforms, and other companies and stuff. I'm taking like 4 or 5 meetings a week now, because I want to build a lot of stuff. I want to talk to progressives who are annoying and they won't shut up about Bernie Sanders. I want to be like, guys, let's do something of value. Like let's stop running like. Even when I liked Bernie, I'm like, guys, don't give him $180 million. He's a politician. I supported him, but I also made a song and built my brand, not like selfishly, like, oh, I'm going to piggyback off Bernie. But it's like, I like this guy, but he's a politician, and he's a politician. Even with Trump, like, I like Trump, but it's like if Trump goes south, I'm not going to go south in my life just because Trump did. It's like you got to build your own lifestyle. So I want to, with progressives and environmentalists, I don't want to cry about non-existent science that's been like totally politically hijacked, and the whole climate narrative is honestly so ridiculous that it's hard to even talk about. But let's build something. Water purifiers, air purifiers. Like I'm trying to be like the Elon Musk of like not quite being Elon Musk, because I'm not there, but like there's a lot of things I want to do. And the debate thing, I'll get into the Owen thing now. The debate thing is great because it's really like we'll talk about it now. this is something that I'm doing more of too, is getting the discussion opened. And on that note, I want to talk about Owen Benjamin. My friend Owen is now demonetized on YouTube, which is awful. He seems okay with it, but it's awful because he was making a lot of money. I think one time he said he was making 22,000 a month, and then he said he had 3,000 subscribers for $4.99 or $5. That's like 15,000 a month. It's a lot of money. Well earned too. I mean, if Fox and all these people can make billions of dollars, why not let Owen make 6, 7 figures? Independently, it's great. And I'm hoping Facebook is going to have a subscription thing. So if you guys follow me on Facebook, I might get a subscription there. That's great. And they don't seem to mind me that much. But anyway, with Owen, it's really a bummer for multiple reasons. But the first reason is we just had a really, really positive debate, Jewish Judaism debate with Andrew Don't Tase Me Bro Mayer, who's Jewish, Owen, who's quarter Jewish, Christian, but very skeptical, very funny, very edgy. And some people would maybe consider it mean, but I don't think so. I think it's like he's poking, the forbidden fruit. But we had this conversation and it actually made everyone feel better. Like Owen felt way better. He's like, guys, I get it now. Like, I just want to understand. I don't like being lied to. I don't like it being sneaky. But once you kind of dive into it, a lot of people on the far right or right wing, whatever you want to talk about, they actually felt better about it. Some didn't. You can't change everyone, but that's how you de-escalate tensions. I always bring this up and it needs to be brought up. Daryl Davis is one of the most effective people in history. He got KKK members to stop being in the KKK as a black man. He did so by being so cool and strong, but cool, that they realized they weren't racist anymore. That's really one of the best tactics. I'm not saying to let somebody like rob your house and be like a pussy and be like, oh, I'm such a loser. I'm like, don't misconstrue strength with weakness or, kindness with naivety. You get it, foolishness. But he was really effective. And when it comes to fringe groups, the far left and the far right, they're a lot of times they're not getting, well, some people are just straight psycho. Obviously, they have mental issues, but also a lot of people have valid concerns and they're not being spoken to. And they just get madder and madder and madder. And then you push them into the shadows and they get madder and madder and madder. And a lot of people on the far right or in the anti-Jew category, if you would call it that, there's valid points that they're making, but they also take those valid points and wrap them with hate and blame and negativity. And that's not healthy and it's not good, but also it's not just disappearing. You're just acting like it doesn't exist. So when I have a debate with Owen Benjamin and I talk about the tough Jewish topics that nobody on the right wing would dare talk about, they're all total, I won't get into it, but everybody kind of feels better. There's Andrew, who's a Jewish man, getting messages from people that are like, wow, that made me feel a lot better. I'm glad there's good people. And I know I have too many Jewish friends that are awesome. And I have Jewish supporters who love the talks and they'll reach out to me and tell me more stuff about Judaism and about their life. And it's actually dope. Like, I get it. Their parents, like Jewish people get it in a lot of ways. They have some sort of like racial thing going on, religious, I get it, but they actually like teach their kids to do well. Smart. Like, it's not anyone else's fault for that. And other things are not so great in certain elements, but that goes with everything. The point I'm saying is talking about it makes it great. So it's just weird. 2 days after we have this great talk that makes Owen feel better, that makes the whole internet feel better, they take away Owen's money because they're trying to pressure people into not having conversations, not talking about the forbidden fruit. And Owen's so interesting because no one's talking about that stuff. And Owen is just so interesting and funny. He could talk about anything and make it hilarious. But he gets on a topic and he's like, all right, they want to pressure you into not talking. And even on Fox and all these stations, they don't want the left and the right coming together and coming to a solution. They don't want the friend. They're just pissing everyone off. The media is like rattling the hornet's nest. They piss off the far right. They piss off the far left. They piss off Islam. Who do you think pisses off Islam more? Conservatives on Twitter or George Bush and Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton going to Syria and Libya and Afghanistan and Iraq? Like, no one pisses Muslims off more than the mainstream media, America, Saudi Arabia, Israel. Like, these are the people who piss off Muslims the most. And then they sit and they act like they're the leaders of Islamophobia. They're like, we love the Muslims. If you do, then why'd you go into Syria? If you love the Muslims so much, Why'd you go into Libya? Why did you subvert that whole country and just make it weird? Why did you go, like, what are you doing in Iraq? Like, why are you not helping their regions, not helping Europe, not helping America, doing absolutely nothing? We love the Mexicans. If you love Mexicans so much, why did you cause a humanitarian crisis in Tijuana? Why did you summon like 20,000 people from Honduras and Guatemala to sit in Tijuana and just ruin a whole area of town and just leave trash and like a whole big crisis, literally a humanitarian. They don't love Mexicans. They don't love Muslims. The media is doing a lot of this stuff. So when it comes to even Owen or something, it's like their goal is not to make Owen nicer or less radical, or like they want to stir up everybody. And the reason Owen even goes off about this stuff is cuz no one else is talking about it, and he's very passionate, and honestly, I think he's hilarious. But I understand he's also edgy. And he's made a lot of statements recently on his stream where he's like, I'm the new George Carlin. And he didn't call himself that, but in a way, he's right, where it's George Carlin said, these are the 7 words you can't say. Dun, 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 dun. And it was like, whoa. But it was funny because it's like, someone's got to say it. And Louis C.K. used to say the N word. I used to think it was weird. I never liked it when Louis C.K. did it. But I was like, I don't know. I guess that's what he wants to do because he thinks it's edgy to say it. And Owen does it too. It's not my thing. Like that's not particularly the funniest thing to me. But as a free speech advocate, I get the psychology behind it, where it's like, Owen always says, I could say necrophiliac, which is a disgusting word, but you can't say that. And it does seem, whether it's abortion or gun control or free speech, when you give someone an inch, as nice as it might be, that's what the left does. They seep in and then they take more and more and more and more and more, whether it's speech or gun rights or abortion, they take more and more and more. And the crazy thing about the left is when they take more, they don't allow you to reverse it. Like right now, we are a socialist country in many, many ways, and we're verging on socialist, full on socialist, and very close to communist. All it takes is one election, one leftist leader, and we're on the verge of socialism, communism. I'm not exaggerating. It's obvious. Like they've sold so far out to identity politics and all these stupid ideas that's where we're at. So now if I'm trying to be myself and be like, guys, we're not even close to the center, and I'm more libertarian, so I'm even further right on the scale of like taxes and stuff. I don't like them, but it's like, guys, we got to go back towards the center. They freak out and they're like, no, they flip the scales. We're too far left. So it's like Muslims could kill, just being honest, Muslims could kill tens of thousands of people. I mean, you could talk about the attacks. And I'm not trying to point fingers now and do that, because it's not about an eye for an eye, but it's like there's been thousands of attacks and murders. They're gonna wait. And even with this, I'm not blaming the media, but they're radicalizing the far right more than I ever will, or more than Owen does. Owen's not radicalizing, and honestly, it's up to them. If they want to do that, he has his own plan. He knows that speaking in certain ways will put him under the hot seat. He was ready for it, so I'm not going to fight his battles, but I do always want to show love and support, like I always do, and continue to host him in debates. But it's like, you give them an inch, they take a mile, and they're not going to ever tell the truth about it. They're going to go this, and just like, they always have a framing for it. But they radicalize more than we do, because they just push people in the corner, and they push the far right, further right, and they push me, someone that was left, to the right, and they push the center to the right, and they throw you in a corner, and they just punch you, give support to ISIS. Like literally our mainstream media 3 weeks ago, and they don't think this and obviously violence is never the answer. Like this guy who did the mosque attack is such a pussy and a coward to kill innocent Muslims. This guy is he's going straight to hell, and he's such an idiot. I can't stand that. It's disgusting. But what I'm saying is the media, just in the last 3 weeks, they were promoting ISIS coming to America. So how do you think conservatives are going to feel, or Americans are going to feel, or right-wing people are going to feel, or God forbid, far right? How do you think they're going to feel when your media sources are promoting ISIS and trying to bring literally the enemy who wants to do awful things to the country? You're making them more mad. And it's the same with like the right. When they do things, they just make people more mad. So you're stirring up the hornet's nest. And I would even say they're doing that with Islam too. I understand when conservatives and right wingers say Islam's the ideology doesn't work. Like I'm all for that criticism. In America, you have this freedom of speech to do that, but I also don't do that because a lot of stuff that they're doing, it would have just stayed within themselves if we didn't go and screw stuff up. And that's something the progressive left understands, where it's like, dude, a lot of them are very pissed off from like whatever I mean, a lot of them are pissed off from Israel, just to be honest. That's not my fight, but like that pissed them off. And then like Iraq pissed them off, and like Syria pissed them off. And I'm Libya, God knows what's going on there, but it's screwed up. And now there's like extremists going crazy. It's not like that's helping. So the media, the point I'm making is the media truly is like the worst thing out. And I'm not like, I never advocate for violence. It's all love. I pray for these journalists to heal their souls and their hearts and become better people. I pray that they see the light. I pray that they find strength instead of weakness and truth instead of lies, because I don't advocate for any sort of negativity towards them. But I'd be lying if I sat here and told you the mainstream media and the tech companies now and all of this 100% information control, they're the worst in every aspect. They start wars. They screw up Muslims. They persecute Christians and say nothing about it. They blame whites. And the real nefarious thing about it, and this is like why the Owen is so intrigued, and I'm starting to learn because a lot of Jewish people are thanking me, because my true pitch is like, guys, it's going to backfire on the white community if white people do dumb stuff. It's going to backfire on the black community if black people follow false leaders. It's going to backfire on the Jewish community if they don't have self-accountability too. So that's my whole pitch. But some of the most racially driven people in the world, like they say America and Europe are the most racist places in the world. And it's really not true. Like if you go to Mexico, there's racial elements. Talk to Argentinians, Colombians, Brazilians, like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. Like I'm part Puerto Rican. They probably look down on me, like, oh, you're the dirt. Like there's racial supremacy in Mexico. There's a lot of racial supremacy in Africa. There's big problems in China. Asia is very racially supreme. Like Asians don't let in like any refugees. They protest if there's like 100 refugees. Chinese people are persecuting Muslims right now. They're literally like calling Muslims a mental illness and putting them in camps. You hear none of this on the media because the mainstream media doesn't care about Muslims, guys. They lie about everything. They are literally the worst of the worst. They're subverting. And the part that really, really has started to strike out to me when I talk to my Jewish friends is a lot of Jewish ideology is not just religion based, it's also racially based. And there is not everybody, there's like the left wing, self hating, like atheist Jewish people who tend to just, do weird stuff. It's like, at least love your people and love God, like or whatever you got to do. I don't understand like the self hating atheist thing, but it's each their own. There's different type, but at the high levels, and also in the high levels of the religion and stuff, and in media, mass, all these stuff, there are a lot of racially supremacist Jews who will look at other Jews and be like, guys, you're not, I'm the, like, so the hypocrisy of it comes, a lot of these mass media corporations are Jewish run, and they're telling America and Europe that they're the most racist when it's really leftist projection tactics where they're the most racist. They're extremely racially driven, so much so to the point where they make America look not racist at all, but they're constantly just subverting America and Europe. I don't know if it's purposely or by mistake, but it's causing a lot of tension. It's causing the degeneracy of our entire country when it comes to like everything, our entire culture. And that's really important because if you like, our culture is what we do, what we teach our kids. And if like we're seeing the response to a culture that has just degraded to degeneracy, pills, murder, like awful social justice, that's a total lie, self accountability and self-awareness that's non-existent. It's awful. But that's the big thing that conservatives don't get to. It's like most Jewish people are amazing. It's and the right wing just blames them all. It's not right. But there is an element of hypocrisy where it's like the most racially driven people are purposely calling some of the least racist people the most racist and making it so you can't even have a conversation about them, which ties into what I'm talking about with Owen, getting demonetized. Although I will say, he definitely goes hard. And I think even he knew he was probably going to get demonetized because he definitely pushes the envelope. But somebody has to. That's like when I said with Alex Jones. I told conservatives and I told everybody, you don't have to like Alex Jones. You don't have to be like Alex Jones. But Alex Jones always called himself the tip of the spear. And it's true. He was the tip of the spear. When it comes to doing that stuff, Alex was at the top. So when they take Alex down, people might say, oh, he's dumb, this and that, not support him. But now they can go down the spear. Alex, Gavin, Roseanne, like now they can just go down and they can just justify taking out anyone. Same with Owen. A lot of conservatives probably back away from Owen and think he's so crazy and awful, but Owen truly is the tip of the spear when it comes to free speech. He's the tip of the spear when it comes to unfiltered comedy. And it's like, you get the good, the bad, and the wild, but it's at the point now where it's not just like certain words and stuff. I mean, they demonetize 70% of my videos. It's fine. They demonetize 60, 70% of my Facebook videos. It's okay. They've already, gone at a lot of people. And it's all, I was talking to my friend from Epoch Times. It's all communist tactics. That's what they do. They surround you and they make it impossible to disagree and dissent. It's what they're doing with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter now. It's what they're doing with the mainstream media. It's what they're doing in the movie industry. You can't dissent. Like, they're not going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? But do you think you could work in Hollywood and work for a movie? Do you think you could work for a movie and say, I really like Trump, but it's all good. I just want to work on The Voice. Guys, I'm a libertarian. I like low taxes and I like the Second Amendment, but do you mind if I work on this Marvel movie? Like, you're not allowed to exist. And they pressure you and they silence dissenters to the point. So that's why I protect the most extreme. I won't even say that, but that's why even with my debating topic, the way you calm people down is through debate, discussion, and giving them a reason to calm down. What the media does and tech companies, they're stirring up everything and they act like they're for Muslims and everything, but they're really not. Their foreign policy crushes Muslims, and also their domestic policy is just weak, naive, and it's self-hatred. It all roots from self-hate. They don't love anyone. They hate themselves. They hate their country. They hate conservatives. They hate Republicans. They hate that idea. So when when your soul is that empty, you can be taken over. And a lot of them have been taken over. The void has been filled with the government. When you don't have religion, that's fine. But if you're going to be atheist, what are you filling that void with? Are you filling it with leftists? Now you're filling your religious void with big government. That's awful. If you don't have, parents or something, that's fine. But like, what are you filling it with? Are you filling it with music about murder and pills? Well, if that's the case, it's better to listen to your parents than listen to pill and murder music. They're filling these voids with awful stuff. And that's why the strongest thing you could do is be yourself, be strong, be somebody that people like, but also, stand your ground. Like, you see me, I do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of conversations. A lot of people listen to me. I don't back down, but I'm likable in the sense of like, they're like, oh, this guy's not a total lunatic. And conservatives, I really think need to work on that in the sense of like all these like normal conservatives. Some of them do great work, and we all play our own role, but we definitely need more leaders who are strong, but are willing to understand the culture and willing to get to the root of the problem. And like, it's going to happen. And I'm finding, to end on a positive note, and I'm going to read all 3 super chats and then I'll read more if you guys put them in. A lot of the leftists, whether they're Bernie Sanders progressives or just like normal people who just kind of follow the wave, they work and don't really pay attention. They're starting to realize that like certain element, they can't identify what it is, but they're starting to realize like the Me Too thing and like these like the younger generation, it's starting to backfire tremendously on liberals. They just don't understand how to rebel against it yet. So I would say, the good news is I think we have like the truth stands the test of time. And I think a lot of these things are going to implode on themselves. My thing is I want it to implode on the left, not implode our whole country. So it's like, we're going to win eventually. I don't like to use those terms, but it's like, I think life is going to get better. Like and that's why someone said, what do you want to accomplish? A lot. I don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it, and I'm ready to do it. But I think it's going to implode on them, and they're going to have 2 options. Either they implode everything or they come to their senses and save their own lives. And that's my pitch to everyone. It's like, guys, I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm saying it to help. All right, Jason, I'll read the 3 super chats. Jason, Hi, longtime listener. The Jews are doing it on purpose, he said. Check out American Krogan's latest video about JQ and Jordan Peterson. It was put into limited state almost easy. I can email it to you. I'm reading a super chat, by the way. I'm not saying this. You can email it to me, but I have 548 emails. I've done enough research. I get it. Like I understand. That's why I talk about it. It's not all people, but it's like conservatives study Islamic ideology, which is great. It's like study the ideology, but they spend so much time hating on Islam. Islam has no real, like, doesn't have a lot of social and political power yet. They're starting to get it in America. But the Jewish power is definitely huge. And there are, like I said, there's a lot of racial elements to it, and a lot of they don't care. Like they're not like a lot of Christians, and I'm not saying all, because there are some good Jewish people who like really love Christians and they want to coexist. Like a lot, I would say a majority of them. But a lot of these high level people, they're like fake Obama type leaders where it's like they're not actually like, oh, Judeo Christian. It's like they're purposely or don't like mistakenly subverting. I don't know. I mean, it's not everybody, my brother. And that's my problem. That's why I'm so important too. Is like a lot of people, they get so hateful because it's something you can't talk about. That's why I did that whole debate with Owen and Andrew to get some of these tough conversations out there. But trust me, I've studied enough. I'm talking to a lot of people that are Jewish that are explaining to me their side of the story because it's all multi-layered. It's like there's different types of people who have different types of ideologies. But my big point, you could say your point, and I understand half the people are going to freak out in the comment section, but like I'm just trying to explore that and be honest about it. Whereas conservatives, they don't talk about it at all and they don't understand it at all. You know what I'm saying? They think it's what it's not in many ways. And you have to understand the whole, situation of it to really accurately put it up. But it's like, regardless of who's doing it, whether it's a communist liberal, whether it's Muslim, Christian, Jewish, I don't really care enough, but it's like at the same point, people got to stop doing it because it's going to lead to their demise. Leftism is going to lead to their demise. If it's Jewish supremacists who are subverting America and Europe, it's going to lead to their demise. And historically, it always has. Like, I mean, you look historically, that they know this. That's why they're like, I'm protective because we have bad history. I understand, but it's like you don't want to repeat that history, and that's how a lot of community, like the women's community and the Black community in America and others, they get easily manipulated because they have a lot of pain that's very genuine. But it's like just because you have pain and emotion, it doesn't mean you're right. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I say that to women too. It's like the women's movement is not there to make you powerful. It's there to make you weak in the name of power. And I think it's at the point now where a lot of these leaders, they just have so much money and power and they don't care enough. But life humbles you. Like it always has, it always will. So it's like that's my warning to our whole society. Is like God, the universe, earth, like it will if we don't humble ourselves, it will humble us. I'm just trying to avoid that. But if it happens, is what it is. Like we can only do as much as we can. Texas Hula Bear, thank you so much. Let's see I'll read some more comments and then I'm gonna roll out. All right. Lloyd said, I like you, Anomaly, but you are young and still have much to experience and learn. You are on the right path. Lloyd, I like you, Lloyd, but you're very low IQ and you have a lot to learn. And maybe with a decade of research, you'll be at my level, Lloyd. So thank you for that backhanded comment, brother. I think you're probably, you have a long way to go, but you'll get there someday, Lloyd, just like me. Thank you, brother. Orange Man Bad said, Big Crit is so good. I've never met another fan. Now, Big Crit is awesome. Yeah, I love Big Crit. Let's see what else you guys are talking to. Someone said, throw out your dark mirror, aka TV. Never peer into looking glass unless you were prepared. Someone said, okay. Let's see. Someone said the Iron Sheik used to humble people. He did. My hair's a little ratchet today. It's okay. No, I like a good backhanded compliment. I could give it right back. Yeah, I got it. It's hot. It's hot outside. I got it. If someone throws shade, I'll I got an umbrella for him. All right. Crazy Life said, VP Pence just did a speech in Poland stating Iran is about to do another Holocaust and America must act. BB was there. It's on State Department YouTube, February 14th, middle speech. I don't know about all that, but yeah, I mean, I'll look into it, guys, but let's try to relax, okay? You have to understand with me too. I mean, I appreciate when you guys show me some stuff, but here's the thing. I'm going to be really honest with you guys, whether it's about whatever. Since the 70s and the 80s, people have been saying the world's going to end. There's going to be a Holocaust. There's a World War III. Like, this is a thing that I don't do. And you guys got to not like project it onto me. I appreciate you showing me this. I'm not hating, but like, if you live in a psychotic reality, like every day's doomsday, it's an awful way to live. And I'm calm because I don't live like that. And I could have lived like that for the past 2 years. I'd hate my life. So it's like you got to relax. Like if something happens, you got to be prepared. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like that's why I don't get down with the whole QAnon stuff anymore, because it's like waiting. Like I'm a business meeting type guy. It's like either we get it done or we don't. We roll the ball or we don't. I'm not about let's pretend like it's going to happen tomorrow for 3 years and act like we're smarter than everyone. It's not my thing. And also same with like dude, the Holocaust. I get it, guys. Obviously, Islam exists. Christians and Islam fight. There's Jewish people like Saudi Arabia, China, Russia, like North Korea. I get it. At any time, World War III could start. Someone could do something crazy. Crazy things are happening in other parts of the world and here right now. But it's like, how do you like? We can't just scream and act like it's doomsday every day. It's like very stressful when people do that. Like I get emails like, oh my God. It's like, guys, you've been screaming for 4 years. Like go enjoy your life. Do something positive. It's never been perfect. It's probably never going to be. It's never been better than this. It might get way better. It might get worse. Either way, what are you going to do? If the world gets worse and it goes to shit in 5 years, are you going to enjoy your life or are you going to scream and cry and, you know what I'm saying, freak out to me all the time? And I'm not saying you were specifically, but that's the type of energy I don't want, and that people do too often in politics. There's no value to doing that. There's nothing helpful about it. There's nothing changing it. Like if you know a lot, it doesn't actually matter unless we get to do something about it. So like knowing all this information is great, but like, guys, there's a million stories. Like I'm not trying to be mean, but like I get 500, 600 emails. I've gotten everything under the sun. They're doing this. The Catholic Church is doing this. The Jews are doing this. Saudi Arabia is doing this. Right? Oh my God, Russia's doing this. China's doing this. The Holocaust is going to start. World War III is going to start. Russia's here. China, guys, I get it. The world is very complex. There's a lot of stuff going on, and things could get crazy. Things might cool down and get a lot better. To be continued. Let's not freak out about it all the time. Jesse Clark said, panic, love you, man, keep it up. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be mean and pick on people, but it's like, that's also for yourself. I had a good convo with a friend this weekend and I was like, it's better. Like people were like, I don't pay attention to the news. Is that bad? Because they knew I did it full time. And they were like, oh, you Instagram famous or something. I was like, but I was like, don't watch the news. Like they expect me to be like on my high horse and be like, you must watch the news and listen to politics all the time. I was like, if you don't watch the news, don't watch the news. It's awful. It's awful. It's an energy drain. It's a mind drain. Someone said, what can we do? I said earlier, I'll say it again. Now I'm going to roll out. Be prepared. That's the first thing. It's like, things could get better. Things could get worse. Just be prepared. Or like, for me, prepared is like, I'm enjoying my life. If the world ends tomorrow, oh, well, it is like, I'm not going to cry about it. Like I had a good life. I had a good weekend. I'm not tripping. Like it is. If it's going to end, it's going to end. If it's not, it's not. If you can't do anything about it, don't worry. The first thing you could do is not stress that much. Second thing is like I said, be effective, and effective means it could mean on a personal level. I truly think it means starting with yourself. And then it's like, in your family, your community, it could be anything. A conversation with a friend where you dial it back a little bit and become more effective because you're not as, angry or upset. Could be starting a business or getting power. Like the left gets power everywhere and then they own these companies. Is it their fault that they own Twitter and Google? I don't think so. I think right wingers need to get better at that stuff. So just winning in any way, whether it's if you enjoy your life, you're winning. If you have a good day, you already won. You don't even have to do anything. Like just have a good time. Go to work and be like, hey, could be better, could be worse, but I'm having a good time. Like that's really the Matrix code, is enjoying the moment. Because when you work and you're waiting for something, you're wasting years waiting for something to come that may or may not come. And then if it comes, that's still with some time. Really appreciate what you have. Someone said, let's start a cult. I don't know. I'm not for it. Maybe next week we'll start a cult. But yeah, just have a good day. Do what you can, make steps, pursue your passion to the side and try to make it a reality. But realize that if you do your passion full time, it becomes not as fun as it used to be. But anyway, it's like, do what you can. I think on the media side, if you have more specific questions, I'll answer. On the media side, I think the best way is like being effective. Like just like you got to understand, what are you trying to accomplish. Me, I'm I'm not trying to just get rich or famous or on Fox News. I want to help America. How do I help America? Well, I got to get more left-leaning people and right-leaning people to see the bigger picture. How do I do that? How do I talk to them? So I think about those things instead of just talking to myself. That's why I've been so effective, because I kind of got outside myself and I'm like, what would I want to hear if I was still super liberal and I didn't understand anything? What would I listen to? Would I listen to Tommy Lauren or Ann Coulter scream at me for an hour? Probably not. No disrespect to them, but I wouldn't like that. That would annoy me and that would push me further left. Who would I listen to? You know what I'm saying? So it was always people like David Icke or Alex Jones. Like, say what you want about them, but they were interesting and they got me thinking a little. So it's like, it could be through comedy. It could be through aggression. If you're like Alex Jones, and like, there's no right way to do it. I'm doing me to the best ability, but like, really, I think a lot of people are too selfish, and too self-centered. And I think that's why I try not to be like a corny greetings card, but like, I do believe in changing yourself to change the world. Self-accountability and self-awareness is huge, because we're not perfect. We're all flawed. But if you understand yourself, it's easier to accomplish things in life. And if you're honest with yourself, no one can lie to you. And if you're honest with yourself, it's easier to navigate. But when you lie to yourself and you live a lie, it's very toxic, because it's not true, but you keep doing it. Like, I know immediately when I make a mistake or something, because it just and I've gotten to the point now where it's just like, I'm trying to weed things out of my life slowly. And every year, every couple months, I weed something else that's a little toxic, little eating habits, this, that, like consuming habits, how much time I'm spending, and it's made my life better. Workout. So you got me. And that's the thing no one talks about. No major media, they don't say those stuff because they're always trying to sell stuff. And if you really, it's not like a coincidence. Like, you look at Fox News or CNN, what are they trying to sell you in the commercials? Think about it. What are they selling you in the commercials? They're selling you pills. Their number one sponsor is pills, life insurance, and all sorts of weird insurance, and lawyers and crappy food. That's literally what they're selling. So they act like they have this moral high ground on me and say, we can't work with you because our sponsors don't want to work with you. Well, who are your sponsors? Their sponsors are pills, insurance, lawyers, and crappy food. So by design, how do you sell pills? How do you sell crappy food? How do you sell insurance? You have to, like, who takes pills? People that are sick, people that need some sort of mental or physical help in some way. And so they create their own patients. It's not like people think it's like a mistake, but like, if I was selling something, I know how to sell it. I'm a good salesman because I understand marketing and stuff. But it's like, if that's what I was selling, I'd do exactly what they do. They make you scared. They make you fearful. They don't tell you about self-accountability. They don't tell you about self-awareness. They don't tell you about self-responsibility. They don't tell you about the power of living in the present moment. They don't tell you how great it is. They don't tell you the millions of people worldwide that are bouncing out of poverty. They don't tell you about like the fact that our life expectancy, at least in this era compared to like 100, 200 years ago, is enormous. They don't tell you all these massive breakthroughs for humanity. They don't tell you that our environment's actually like we're changing, even though we're not in the Paris Climate Accord, we're still evolving at a high level in America. They don't tell you this stuff because they're selling pills, lawyers, crappy food, and insurance in the commercials. So they have to put you in a state of like negativity, fear, and unhealthiness to consume what they're selling you. It's all by design. That's why I mean it when I truly say, have a good day. take care of yourself, enjoy your life, enjoy your job. It never gets better. You could be a billionaire, crazy person just killing everybody and like you're never happy, you're never satisfied. It's because that's not real happiness. Yeah, money's great. It's good to not be poor, but it's true. Like money doesn't lead to happiness. There's people with dirt, only dirt. And these societies are happier than America. Why? Because they don't live behind cell phones. They don't live like wanting to be somewhere else, looking at that girl and being like, I wish I was as pretty as her, or looking at that person's vacation and being like, I wish I was on vacation like them. They don't live like that. They have community and family and they appreciate what they have. I'm starting to do intermittent fasting and it's cool because when I eat once a day, or sometimes I eat twice, I'm not perfect, but I'm so excited to eat. Like it tastes so good. I'm like, oh, this is so great. But when I eat 3 and 4 times a day, not only am I unhealthier, but then I'm like, I take food for granted. But that's my key, even in these last 2 years. Like, anomaly, how did you do this or that? I woke up every morning for the past 3, 4, 5 years when I had nothing, under $1,000 in my bank account. Someone stole money from me. I had no apartment. I got it back because I'm a boss, but that's a side note. I woke up every morning and I said, I'm by myself. I'm grateful. I have the room to and freedom to create. I'm grateful. I have roof over my head. I'm grateful. I have water. I'm grateful. I don't do any drama. I don't do any sort of gossiping as far as like, of course everybody talks this or that, puts in their opinion, but like I spend like no energy on that because I'm so grateful for what I have. And I was before I even had as much as I do now. And I'm not going to end that because that's where the power is. Living in the present moment, gratefulness, appreciating, and understanding that self-awareness and self-accountability can shift your whole life, your whole career, and the whole world. It's crazy what a big effect it could have if you get right inside. And that's what most news will never tell you because that's the truth. And that's the deep-rooted truth besides left and right and Republican and conservative and Trump and Hillary. It's like politicians, businessmen, that's cool, whoever you like, but don't put your trust and love into the government. Don't put your whole life into another person and live vicariously through a politician. You're going to get played eventually. Like you got to hold it down for yourself and understand that people are playing certain roles and you might think it's helpful or unhelpful, but getting right internally and just making the most of it, that's where the real power is. And that's what they don't want you to know. I can't tell. That's a clip right there. I'm gonna chop that up and put it on Facebook. I can't tell if this is a I can't tell if this is a troll or not, but I'm gonna read it because it's hilarious. Daniel P said, "How much is Blumph paying you to shill?" I can't tell. I can't tell if you're joking or not. If you're joking, that's hilarious. If you're not, also hilarious. Literally, don't listen to anything I've said besides what I just said the last 5 minutes. That's the most important stuff. And there's a reason. Even people on the left and the right, they don't tell you that stuff, guys. All right, I'll read a few more comments and I'll roll out. God bless you guys. Let's see. And the best way to remove all deep set grease and oil stains from fabric is to rub in some peanut butter before the normal wash. Seriously, I don't know if that's true, but I'll take your word for it. But I would say do some research on that before you put some peanut butter in your stuff. Let's see. No problem, Gina. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not doing Congress, guys. I see anomaly for Congress. Thanks, Lloyd. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to be a politician. I want to do my own thing. It's a bad vibe in there. I'll read in the comments. Bear said, "Thank you for talking about Owen anomaly." Oh, absolutely. I mean, all my friends are the weirdo outcasts, and I have no problem standing up for all my friends. I mean, Owen, he's like the outcast. Roseanne, like real recognize real. The people who show me love, we just happen to be like the weirdo outcasts who no one wants to talk to. But here's the thing. In societies, that's what they always do, from like Socrates to, even in the Armenian genocide, they always get rid of the intellectuals first, and they round up the most, the best leaders, the strongest leaders, because then and that's what they're doing now. Regardless of what you think of a lot of people, it's like there's a reason these people don't want to stop war or anti-Islamophobia. Their agenda has been worse for Islam than anything that right wingers have done. Although I would say the right wing Bush, it's all their fault. It's both parties in that sense. But it's like they act this way now. Trump actually has probably helped Syria more than any politician has ever helped the Middle East. What he did in Syria alone, even though he didn't do the full, he did more than they did terrible things. He did the right thing. He helped them tremendously. He's effective. They don't actually care about people. They just say it. So it's like when they go at people like Alex or Owen and stuff, their intentions are not, they act like they're like, oh, we're going to stop anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, and Owen's mean to the gays and stuff. But it's like, in a world where everyone's saying the same thing, it's refreshing to hear Owen say the other thing, because what everyone else is saying is wrong. And you give people an inch, they take a mile. I never cared if LGBT marriage, it never bothered me, because I was like, so honestly, I was thinking, well, now gay guys and lesbians can divorce and take their spouse to court for half their money. They can lose like straight couples, they could lose money to the government or to their ex. I thought it was interesting. But then they've gone so far, and you see like the LGBT agenda so skewed out of proportion, where it's like, guys, it's not like you can do it, but like it's not something to parade around about for a month and just be like, if you're not this, you're cisgendered. And if you try to start a family, it's all subversion tactics for sure. And if you really look at it, I mean, a lot of people don't look at it in this light, but Owen says it sometimes on the topic of that. Man and man, woman and woman having sex, that equals no child. Regardless of what you think of LGBT, that's fine. I'm not knocking it, but there's no children involved. Abortion, no children. Third term abortion, no children. What are they bragging about in the news? 48 out of 50 states aren't populating enough to continue at this rate. So no children, no children, no children, no children. It's all very real. So it's like they do this, and then it's like mass importation. We need that. And you're like, okay. And then it's like all this anti-Christian and anti-white and anti-conservative hate. It's all by designs, because conservatives are the only ones who understand that abortion's wrong. I mean, I guess some leftists do, but it's like third term abortion. It's all baby murder, don't have babies, don't like, it's so goofy to me, because people are like, no, that's crazy. Like, dude, look into like eugenics programs, look into Hitler, look into Stalin, look into anyone ever. I mean, you could take any part of history ever and be like, you know what? This is a possibility. We're so lucky. I really think of the term, and then I'm really going to take off. They say strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. We're weak, okay? We're weak. And the only strong men they persecute. And like, if you're Owen and you go too far on the strong side, they persecute you. If you're too far on the weak side, like say the Owen equivalent to the weak side, where it's like you're super weak, or Owen will go super strong and he'll say something and they'll be like, bad. It's not even. It's not like Owen bad, that person bad. If you're super weak and super crazy on the weak side, they'll give you a television show and give you 5 Grammys. So it's like it's all an agenda for sure to amplify the weak, amplify the no babies agenda, and persecute the strong. It's not eye for an eye. It's like all of you, and I don't believe in that. Eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. But it's like Owen down, Alex down. Is Rachel Maddow off for sure? Like they're coming for everything. They want 100% control. And to do this type of stuff, you need to wrap it in some sort of agenda. Liberals are too foolish, guys, and progressives are too foolish. You can't tell people this. Woman's choice, pro-choice, woman's choice, for the woman. Like they wrap it in LGBT. Like they have to give it this brand that seems compassionate and kind, or else liberals are never going to buy it. So they wrap all of this stuff, and a lot of people get it. And for the comments said, thank you for standing up for Owen. Of course, I'm not afraid of anything, really. Like, I'm not afraid to say anything that I believe is true. I'm not afraid to stand up for people. And it's so, I mean, if you don't stand up for people now, who are you? You know, it's not just like one person got demonetized. Alex Jones, Gavin, Roseanne, like the list goes on and on. Free Thought Project, who was very Free Thought Project is more left leaning. They were on Facebook. They had 1 million views. The Free Thought Project showed me love when I was more left leaning before anyone did. They always were kind to me, and they got taken down. And they're left wing, but they're deep diving left wing. You know, they're like conspiracy left leaning, but like still like F everybody. They're on some like anarchy, communist stuff, but like maybe more anarchy. But anyway, which is right. But you get what I'm saying. They lean left sometimes, they went right. But I'll stand up for everyone. I mean, how could you not at this point? And all the people that look down on, like, it's always people that are less interesting hating on people who are more interesting. Like all these people who hate on Trump, they're all like loser versions of Trump. Like Mark Cuban, I'm not saying he's a loser, but like it's like he's like a Trump. Like Trump did The Apprentice, Mark Cuban did Shark Tank. It's like he copied Trump's show. Like, you know, he's like did the same premise and shifted it around a little bit. It's like all these people are like, Trump's so bad, but now I'm gonna run for president. Yeah, you think you could run for president because Trump won. He inspired you. Trump inspired you to run, but you're not as cool as him. And it's like the same that people who hate on Owen. It's like, who's hating on Owen? I don't know who, but like who's hating on him who's more honest or at least like more interesting or more funny? Like it's always people that are less interesting or less honest. They're like we don't want to go there, so we're gonna push him away. There's a way to distance yourself and be like, that's not my thing. Like things Owen does, I don't do. It's not me. I'm not responsible for what he does. Owen jokes about me sometimes. He's like anomaly, you know, like he'll make a funny joke. I think it's hilarious. Like, and then he'll text me, be like, I was just playing. I'm like, I'm not, I think it's hilarious. I'm not that soft where like Owen said, I don't I don't want to be patted on the back all the time. I think like it's funny. And it's like, we're different, you know, we're different people. It's cool. But yeah, the people, like everyone else though, a lot of these people would let everyone fall. It's not good. I respect people on the left wing too who call up that stuff. Arcadian Art said, "Do not be so weak." Arcadian Art, it's okay. You'll be as strong as me someday, brother. You could train, you got to do more push-ups and you know, you'll get to where I am someday. Don't worry. Someone said Owen isn't interesting. He rambles incoherently and boastfully. I mean, you don't have to like him. I understand. It's to each their own. I know there's a lot of people who are banned who are like mad now. A lot of people don't like him. I have friends that can't stand Owen and they like Dave Rubin and stuff. It's all good, to each their own. You know, I'm not knocking. To me, I'm interested in intelligence and I'm also interested in like something new. A lot of other people just say the same thing on loop all the time, I guess. And it's like, I don't know. I've been shifting to people who are just like more interesting to me, but it's all perception and perspective. So I'm sure a lot of people don't like me too. That's fine. You don't have to. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Javi. I appreciate it. Yeah, even with like I had a lot of supporters who didn't like Alex too. Like a lot of people who watch me because I have a totally different energy than Alex. A lot of people who watch me hate Alex. I don't hate Alex, but they do. That's okay. But there's a difference between not liking someone and I guess like letting them get thrown under the bus all the time. Because it's like you can dislike Alex, but then you know, it's like, can you rationally go at what he's talking about and say why you disagree? Because a lot of times people are like, I hate Alex. And I'm like, who do you listen to? And they're like, oh, I like this person. And I'm like, yeah, that person's not that. He's not that honest. Someone said Alex might be Bill Hicks. I don't know about that. I've heard that. That's pretty funny. Someone said, anomaly, look into the psychology of indoctrination and how the mind is manipulated subliminally through coercion, pain, and suffering. Society is a cult, as our religions. Both seek power and control. Yeah, Sabrina, that's what my whole talk was about today. So you're telling me to research something I just talked about for an hour. I got you though. Happy St. Patty's Day. God bless. No, and I'm not that's where people get me misconstrued. Like the one guy's like, Anami, you're so weak. I'm not weak. I'm actually strong. I'm pretty strong physically. I mean, sometimes I look skinny, but it's because I'm actually pretty tall. and I have really strong legs. But anyway, I'm not weak. I'm just not. I don't fight randomly. Like if I fight, I've only gotten in fights I've won in my life, and it's not because I don't get in fights. The only time a fight starts is when somebody steps over the line. So there's in my personal perspective, everybody's got their own vibe, and I think it's great. But there's a difference between being like headstrong and being actually strong. Like I'm legitimately strong. I'm effective. I'm not afraid, but I don't do certain things not out of fear, but they just don't make sense to me, and that's not who I am. I'm a Libra. I'm very balanced. I'm very chill and calm. That's who I am. So a lot of people like I'll give you an example. If you start 20 bar fights in a year and you win 18 of them and you lose 2 and you say, "Man, why didn't you fight with me, Anomaly? You're weak. You're a coward. Like why didn't you fight?" But it's like did someone jump you or steal something from you or like step to you, or did you start them because that's your energy? And a lot of people, they bring it upon themselves and then they act like the victim, or they say, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting in all these fights. I'm so strong." So it's like, to me, you got to separate the difference between someone who picks battles that are stupid and someone who's legitimately strong. Just because I'm chill and calm, it doesn't mean I'm weak. I'm effective. I've been extremely effective, and other people have too. There's multiple ways to do it, but it's like people say to me, "Anomaly, you got to stand up or step up." Like I'm doing a lot, and I do what I want. I'm not. There's no like. There's nothing I don't say. I'm having like culture shifting discussions every week and, changing the game. I'm not weak just because I chill. I'm chilling. Like I don't when I turn the camera off, I'm not pacing around my house like screaming pissed off. I'm like at the beach, or like I'm chilling. I'm like having fun. I'm dancing. I'm at a club dancing. Like I like to dance. I like to have fun. I'm not so like liberal. Like I'll dance with liberals. Like I go to West Hollywood. I just someone's like, "Yo, come to West Hollywood," and the gay people, Anomaly, we love you. I was like, it's all love. I'm good in the hood. Like I'm fine. I'm not weak. I'm just like I don't care if people disagree with me, whatever. But a lot of people get it when you have that type of energy and you're not just like screaming at them. That's why a lot of conservatives are so lame. I don't want to I don't want to like name names, but someone said recently, it was Kyle Kashev, who's friends with my buddy Fleckus too. I've met him too. He's a good guy. But he was like, music is lame or something. Like it's like, dude, you don't like music? Like any music? What, Jackson 5, Stevie Wonder, like Led Zeppelin, anything? You don't like any music? Beatles? No one? Like music is lame to like that just sounds like like how could like you don't does anyone like it's okay to do political analysis, but like you don't like to have fun? I have a blast. I like to enjoy my life. I don't live in a constant state of like fear and anger. All right. I see people talking about the Yang guy. He's annoying. I can't tell if the Yang trolls are like legit or if you guys are just trolling. Either way, it is pretty funny. All right, 100 Jack said, "You sound like a typical non-voter with all exclamation points." Dude, relax, my man. You got to relax. No, I'm not calling him out. I'm just saying it's like me like we need there's a lot of things that conservatives, I'm not even like that, but people that are more libertarian, there's things we need to do. And it's like we got to be more fun. Like honestly, I don't care if people are liberal or conservative, but who's trying to have fun? I have conservative friends who have fun. I have liberal friends who have fun. Like there's no advantage to like being boring. Someone said Fleckus has a great approach. Yeah, Fleckus is awesome. He's fun. And I have on that note, I want to say I have friends who don't like right wing, they don't like Trump, but they like Fleckus because it's funny and they like him. There's a huge benefit to not being like, I like low taxes and I want my rights. I want to silence Ilhan Omar. It's like it's I don't know how effective that is. It's annoying. It's like that's why I'm doing my own events. I'm gonna do my own events. I'm not hating. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, music is so great. Do you guys like music? Owen's in the chat. Owen, you should beef with the people who are saying you're not legit. There's people in here who are talking bad about you. You should beef with them. Arcadian Art said Trump appointed and surrounded himself with people that hate Assange and want him dead. Yeah, the Julian Assange thing is whack. Free Julian Assange. Give that guy internet access for sure. Oh, there he is. Oh no, it's Owen Benjamin Bear Cave. It's a different Owen. Someone said fun. All right, this is hilarious. And then I'm really gonna leave. Someone said fun. How about a sense of purpose? You can have a sense of purpose, guys, but you can also have fun. Just because you have fun doesn't mean you have a sense of purpose. I talk about a sense of purpose, self-awareness. I talk about this stuff all the time. I talk about fun, and people are like, fun? Anomaly? Fun? What about, yeah, you of course you need a sense of purpose. Very important in life. One of the most important things. But it's if you don't have fun, what's the point, guys? We're living and we're working and we're all eventually gonna die. And hopefully we go to heaven. And it's all great. But like we have to have fun. If we don't make enjoyment out of this stuff, that's I want to give you guys a stat. I did a poll and I said, how do you feel when you're on social media? Excited, happy, stressed, angry? 85% of people said stressed and angry. So we built the internet to be easier, more accessible, and also fun. When I used to go on the internet, it was fun. I played Doom. It was fun. I played God knows what I was playing. I was browsing. It was fun. I heard the blah, 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 the AOL, the AOL, the dial up. It was a blast. Now we're such a lame society. We're not even having fun. We're like, I'm miserable. Like, what's the point of going online if we're getting miserable? And I'm not blaming you guys. It's me too. Like, what are we doing here? That's why I'm like, we got to have fun. Make America fun again. All right, I'll take one more question and then I'm really gonna go out. Yeah, I played Doom. They were like, this game's so dangerous. It was like, it's crazy. Someone said Trump is like your funny uncle. Free Judge Janine. Yeah, free Julian Assange, free Judge Janine, free Tucker Carlson if he needs to be freed. Free Owen, free Alex Jones. Who else we got to free? All right, we got any more good questions or anything? All right, I'm gonna take off, guys. I'm gonna eat a late dinner. God bless you guys. God bless America. God bless your family. God bless the world. The Greg you know and love said, "Music is spiritual, my brother." Yeah, music's fun, man. Dance, have a good time, vibe out. It's a good vibe. Um, all right, I'm just reading a few more comments. I'm going to take off. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good week as always. Enjoy yourself. I'll be back for sure. I'll have a lot of content, some new debates. I think I'm going to have Ali and Mike Cernovich on this week. I'm going to talk about some matrix breaking stuff, hopefully get outside the matrix. Thank you, Amy, again. I don't know if I thanked you, but I just saw that. Yeah, check out my Roseanne interview, guys. There's two things I did this week. The Roseanne interview and then my debate. I have a podcast. If you guys listen to podcasts and not YouTube sometimes, Make America Debate Again. That's my podcast. Make America Debate Again. I have conversations with Andrew Meyer, Owen Benjamin. I have a debate with Nuance Bro. I got a lot of good debates on there, and I'm going to continue to have that. So God bless you guys. Appreciate you guys. Every race, religion, and gender. Everybody. It's all love. Guys, don't overcomplicate it. Don't freak out. We got this. We're not going. It's not gonna be World War III. Not this week. We all right. We're going in strong, and we're gonna make plays, guys. It's things happen. Things happen quickly. We got it. Happy St. Patty's Day too, with two D's, not two T's. I figured that out. All my Irish friends were yelling at me. They're like, "No, you spelled it wrong." I was like, "It happens." All right. See you guys.